This is Texas at a place once known for violence and a high probability of death. Countries have tried to conquer it, but for hundreds of years only one people mastered it. It has been called many things: West Texas, Caprock, Llano Estacado, Staked Plains, but most dauntingly, Comancheria, home of the Comanche people, the Lord of the Plains. This was a desolate expanse, an ocean of grass and subtle hills, no prominent landmarkings to guide a traveler, a lack of easily acquired food, and few water sources. This very prominent landmark divided between the lower plains and the high plains. As you approach from the east, you can see it for miles, but as you crest the rock wall, you are met with this: a flat, undistinguishable, seemingly never-ending sea of grass that would swallow you alive. If the elements and hunger did not kill you, the Comanches would. This is how they dominated the plains, halting westward expansion for hundreds of years: the introduction of the horse by the Spanish. The horse, along with an innate understanding of navigation of the plains, gave the Comanche transportation over hundreds of miles, enabling them to travel the vast expanses and use the plains as a defensive wall, if you will, against their home camps being approached by an outside threat. The Comanche were once a simple people of hunter-gatherers who more dominant native tribes forced around. But in the 1600s, the horse and a new style of mounted warfare, fueled by hatred and vengeance, would make the Comanche a dominating foe. Most natives used the horse to get to battle and dismounted to fight on foot. The Comanche brought the fight to you in a thundering of hoofbeats, well-placed arrows, and overwhelming violence. I'm going to try to replicate mounted buffalo hunting and also mounted warfare with the bow. I do not have a horse, so I'll be using a four-wheeler in this next clip. The reason the Comanche and other Plains Indians used a short bow is for this reason. I don't have a horse. I would love to have a horse and be able to do this from a horse, but I don't, so I've got a four-wheeler here. And the reason the design was so short is they could maneuver them easy from horseback. They could string it off of their leg like this. They could string the bow like that, and then as they're riding, they can transition the bow easily over either side of the horse as they're riding. If you had a 6-foot bow, it would be catching here all the time. So the design and the reason for the short bow is the mobility and easiness of shooting from horseback. Go. Do it again. That's perfect. One more time. So hopefully in the footage you can see this front target represents like a Comanche riding at an enemy. Say he shoots his muzzleloader and he's trying to reload it. He rides his horse, charges the guy, rides right up on him, shoots almost straight on, and veers off, or he could also shoot from the side. I'm going to attempt to demonstrate the loading process of an early firearm to describe to you why it would be so easy for a Comanche warrior to ride up on somebody and shoot them with arrows. This is of course before the introduction of the repeating revolvers like the Colt Patterson and the Colt Walker that ended up being a domination over the Indians, but that's a whole nother video. So fire the gun, bring it down, take a powder horn, charge the gun with a powder charge, retrieve a ball and a patch from another pouch on their body somewhere, put it in the muzzle, start the ball into the muzzle, pull up the ramrod, ram the ball all the way down to the powder till it's tight, reinsert the ramrod in the gun so they don't lose it, bring the gun back up, take their powder horn again, charge the pan, cock the hammer before they could shoot another round. I think you can see from the footage that that would be very overwhelming to be charged by a mounted Comanche on horseback, and he's able to shoot multiple arrows while a pioneer or a ranger, whoever is trying to load his muzzleloader. The other factor that accelerated the Comanche to thriving in the desolate high plains was the ability to hunt the overly abundant American bison as the primary life-giving source on the high plains. Again, the introduction of the horse accelerated the primitive hunters from chasing the bison on foot or stampeding the large beast over a cliff to chasing them down on horseback and firing well-placed, deadly arrows or lances into the vitals and procuring higher volumes of harvested bison to eat, make shelter in the form of teepees, and clothing in the form of buckskins and buffalo robes, thus providing an abundant source of life-giving materials in an otherwise void of food and shelter. Missed completely! It's harder than it looks.
We're galloping.
Do I?
We're galloping.
Ah, missed again. I got it. Oh yeah, they're huge. I mean, that would kill it, but... Okay, go. Faster. Closer. Yeah, I got time. Do it again. Close. Missed. Wait, it would have been a kill shot. Do it again. Turn around. Yeah, close. Dude. Too close. Got it. So this is the first time I've shot from in motion. I'd love to have a horse to do this. If anybody's out there that would like to teach me how to ride a horse and do this, it'd be fun. But this represents like a buffalo, and that would be a Comanche riding up next to him. Of course, the buffalo would be running too, but he'd ride up next to the buffalo and shoot him right behind the shoulder or right behind the ribs and try to drive an arrow deep into the bison or the buffalo's vitals, his heart, his lungs, slow him down. It might take multiple arrows, maybe a one well-placed arrow, but it was said, there's accounts that a Comanche warrior could drive one of these arrows completely through a buffalo if it didn't hit bone. So just an incredible thing with a stick with a string on it and another stick. Just incredible survival out here on the plains, providing food, shelter. They use the buffalo for everything. So another thing that not many people know is this is just a target point on an arrow. The Comanches had what were called trade points. It was iron or steel tipped arrowheads that they would either trade for or make from a wagon wheel or some kind of metal they could find. They'd file them down and sharpen them, and that's how they were able to shoot that arrow through the buffalo or penetrate the buffalo really deep. Is they basically had a 2 to 3 inch razor blade on the end of their arrows, and that would let the arrow penetrate very deeply from these short, powerful bows. This is such a fascinating time period that there's just not a whole lot of account of. Well, there's account of it, but there's not much documentation as the camera was just coming about kind of towards the end. Just a fascinating time period. I've just really become obsessed with it and researched it and learned about it. I think part of me is jealous of the Comanche for just being free on the plains and being free to ride and hunt. But I hope you learned something, and hope you come back for another one. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other videos on making Comanche bows and also making plains Indian arrows.